Rita Hayworth, the tragic goddess of Golden Age Hollywood heroes. Facts. Once the silver screen's most radiant goddess, Rita Hayworth wasn't just a movie star, she was a phenomenon. A siren of the 1940s, a World War II pinup queen, and the very definition of Hollywood glamour. But beneath the polished curls, ruby lips, and smoldering eyes was a woman haunted by pain, betrayal, and loss. This is the unforgettable, heart-wrenching story of the woman who danced her way into America's heart and suffered in silence as it all slowly unraveled. The rise of the goddess. Born Margarita Carmen Cancino in 1918, Rita came from a family of Spanish and Irish descent. Her father, Eduardo Cancino, was a dancer, and from a young age, Rita was trained to follow in his footsteps. By age 12, she was performing on stages across California, often in adult nightclubs, well past midnight. She wasn't a child star, she was a child being used. Gilda made her immortal. In 1946, Rita Hayworth stepped into cinematic eternity with Gilda, a role that didn't just make her famous, it etched her into the fabric of Hollywood legend. With nothing more than a sultry toss of her auburn hair and the hauntingly seductive line, "Me? Sure, I'm decent," she stopped time. The screen didn't just light up, it surrendered to her. In that moment, Hayworth became not just a star, but an archetype. The femme fatale, the untouchable siren, the woman every man wanted and no one could truly possess. Behind that carefully crafted image was a woman unraveling, caught between the expectations of an adoring public and the personal scars that never made it to the screen. Her marriages crumbled, her trust was shattered, and Hollywood, for all its glitz, offered her no real shelter. A heart that loved too much. Rita Hayworth was more than a screen siren. She was a woman who loved deeply, completely, and perhaps too often. Her beauty brought her global fame, but it couldn't shield her from heartbreak. In love, Rita didn't act. She gave herself away, fully and without reservation. And time after time, it left her with nothing but silence and scars. She walked down the aisle 5 times, each time hoping for lasting peace. But her romances played out like the roles she knew too well, dramatic, intoxicating, and ultimately doomed. Then came the fairy tale, or what appeared to be one. In 1949, Rita married Prince Ali Khan, the dashing son of the Aga Khan and heir to one of the most prestigious Islamic dynasties. For a brief moment, she became actual royalty. The world watched in awe as Hollywood's goddess became a real-life princess. But fairy tales are fragile things. The prince had wandering eyes and a restless heart. The marriage collapsed under the weight of betrayal and public scrutiny. Rita was once again left alone, this time with a second daughter, Princess Yasmin, and another broken dream. The pattern was cruel and unrelenting. Rita gave her heart entirely, expecting loyalty, tenderness, maybe rescue, and was met with indifference, infidelity, or cold withdrawal. Hollywood saw her as a goddess, men saw her as a prize, but few ever saw her as a person. Fewer still treated her like one. The goddess forgotten by Hollywood expanded. By the 1970s, Rita Hayworth, the dazzling siren who had once reigned over Hollywood's golden age, was a ghost in the industry she helped build. Once the face of Columbia Pictures, her name had graced marquees around the world, her image immortalized in magazine covers, film reels, and wartime pinups. But as time marched on and the industry turned its gaze toward younger, fresher faces, Rita faded quietly into the shadows. Hollywood, so quick to idolize beauty, had no blueprint for how to care for its fading legends. Offers stopped coming. Friends grew distant. And Rita, who had once danced under glittering lights, now spent her days in a haze of confusion and silence. She lived in near isolation, cared for by a few loyal companions and her 2 daughters, particularly Yasmin Aga Khan, who would later become a fierce advocate for Alzheimer's. Today, her story has taken on a deeper meaning. Rita Hayworth helped bring Alzheimer's into the public conversation. Her daughter, Princess Yasmin Aga Khan, became an outspoken advocate, helping raise millions for research. But Rita's true legacy lies in the strength behind her smile, the quiet dignity in her pain, and the powerful truth that sometimes the most glamorous stars carry the heaviest burdens. She danced, she dazzled, and she broke hearts, including her own. Rita Hayworth, the tragic goddess who lit up Hollywood and faded all too soon. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and drop a comment below. We'd love to hear from you.